Today I am going to show you guys how to make textures from images taken in the real world using only open source software. All you have to do is grab your phone or camera of choice and go outside and touch some fucking grass. Just take pictures of surfaces in the world around you and bring them to your computer. When you get there, open the images in Krita and let's get started. So today I am going to teach you guys how to make brick tile textures for video games, 3D models, whatever the fuck. So this is a picture I took with my phone. You could use open source tools or using Krita, and I want to use the polygonal selection tool. So you're going to want to use this tool to crop the bricks out based on the geometry of the bricks, so you can then stretch it to fit a proper texture or something. I don't fucking know. And there. You got that selected. You're gonna Control C, Control V, paste the layer. And you're going to go to Image, Trim to Selection. And you're going to go to this tool, the Transform a Layer Selection. Right click on it and click Mesh. So it's like 3D modeling, but it's not. And you're going to want to you also might want to click up here and view it as a tile. You're going to want to line these up at the corners. Just like that. You're going to want to click this, the selection, to image, trim to image size. And here's what you go. And then you're going to go on image, scale image to new size, and the texture size you want, something like this. So I'm gonna do 128 by 128, and then I'm gonna filter it to nearest neighbor for the best result, and then I'm gonna make sure it stretches it to that position. So here is texture. Now let's go to this. Deselect it. So it generally does look kind of like a tile texture, but if you notice here on the edges, got a brick here. You could select it with the selection tool, and then you can Control C, Control V, and paste it as a new layer. Grab it and take it all the way over here, and then stretch it out. You can then merge with layer below. And you see there's another one here. Let's go back over here. Plop it down right there. And there's it's just one way you could soften up the edges, and then basically copy paste segments from the edges. So you're going to want to copy paste bricks from one side of the texture to the other to make it more seamless, so when you tile it in a game setting or a 3D model or a 3D environment or anything in general, it will look more seamless and more realistic. Now that you have your brick texture as a desirable state of tileness, to tell the top and the bottom of the texture, but it doesn't exactly matter if it's in a low res texture. 128 pixels is the standard texture size for Doom. I choose to use that as my base texture size. So now that you got this color, you may think it's a bit desaturated, so you're going to press Control M. You're going to open up color adjustment, and you can adjust the colors to your liking with this RGBA, red, green, blue. Kind of adjust it, just play around with these settings until you like what you see. The quickest results are from hue, saturation, lightness. Press OK, and then you're going to save the image, and then we are going to use GIMP. Now, once you open the texture in GIMP, you're going to want to convert it to color space or a particular color palette of your choice. Converting your texture to index mode is basically converting it to a color palette, which makes it look more like a video game texture or retro aesthetics, as you could put it, but most people might not do this to their texture. A lot of people don't tend to use color palettes when it comes to making textures. But you go to Image, Mode, Indexed, and then I have my own color palette I like to choose, which is the 256 8-bit color palette and then you can use color dithering, which is pretty useful. I tend to go with positioned. You can convert it, and you see it has that, or you could choose the other option. There is Floyd Steinberg normal dithering, and there's another option for no dithering. The no dithering option always looks like shit. Now once you've chosen on what method you want it to dither, and you could also adjust the colors by going to colors, color balance, and you could slide around these to kind of play around with it. If you want like a brighter texture, or you could basically play around with that. And then once you are satisfied, you can save the texture and use it in whatever the hell you want to use it in. So now you can basically turn almost any photograph into a game texture. That's if you were paying attention to my stupid video. But anyways, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, or whatever. Bye guys! Once I saw somebody doing drugs on these stairs. That is very sussy.